Converting a RAILZ Pro Snow Scooter to a RAILZ Pro Street Scooter. You'll need two 5mm hex keys that come with the kit, a 4mm hex key that comes with the kit, and the 8mm open-end wrench. Start by removing the front ski with the two 5mm hex keys. One on each side. Loosen the axle and then remove the axle completely. You can use the end of the hex key to push the axle out once the axle bolt comes free. We'll set the axle and axle bolt aside because we'll need that for the wheels later. And we'll move to the back of the scooter. Again, the two 5mm hex keys. We will loosen the axle and then go ahead and remove the axle bolt completely. And use the end of the hex key to push the axle free. Now the rear axle has two bushings in here that space the ski because there's a channel in the base of the scooter. So be careful of those bushings; they'll fall out when you push the axle through. Set the axle aside and the two bushings. You'll need those later. The next step is to remove the snow brake. Turn the scooter over. Using the 8mm wrench and the 4mm hex key, loosen the nut and bolt. And then continue to remove the bolt. It should unscrew from the deck. You may have to pull and twist to get the axle out. Okay, the axle bolt is out. The spring is free. Take note of the axle spring. It has a 90-degree bend in it. That bend goes into the channel of the scooter deck. So go ahead and remove the brake and set it aside. Okay, now we're going to install the wheels and the wheel brake. First step is to install the wheel brake. So we'll turn the scooter over. Locate the wheel brake and slide it into the channel. Locate the brake axle bolt. Insert through the side of the scooter deck and through the first hole on the wheel brake. You just want to get it started. Don't push it all the way through. We still have to put the spring on. So locate the spring. You want to make sure that the 90-degree bend goes into the channel. And then we're going to compress the spring down and drive the bolt through the hole in the coils of the spring. So get it approximately lined up. Push it into place and then use the 4mm hex key to drive the axle bolt through the spring coils. Give you a close-up there. So the axle bolt is through the spring coils, but not yet through the other side of the brake. So we're going to twist and drive it through that other side and then push it on through the hole on the other side of the deck. Okay, the bolt is all the way through. Locate the nut. Get it started. Then use the 8mm open end wrench and the 4mm hex key to tighten the bolt. The wheel brake is in place. Now we can start installing the wheels. We'll put the front wheel on first. Locate one of the wheels and the front axle bolt and nut, which is the shorter axle bolt. And then put the axle nut in from the other side. Now there is an internal bushing inside the wheel, so you need to make sure that that lines up as the axle is going through. 2 5mm hex keys to tighten it up. And then we'll move to the rear wheel. The rear wheel is a little bit trickier because it's got the spacer bushings. So we'll turn it upside down. Locate the longer axle bolt and nut. And we'll get the axle bolt started from one side and then put one of the bushings on the axle inside the channel of the scooter. And then we'll start the axle through the scooter wheel. Just as the axle starts to come through the other side, we want to get the other bushing and push it into place. And then drive the axle through. Okay, once it pushes through the bushing on the other side, then we can grab the axle nut, get that started, and then tighten it up with the 2 5mm hex keys. Now we have a RAILZ Pro Scooter.